dead!
Hey, so I played this game for a little bit, and I'm gonna say straight up that this game is fun as hell. And it's so simple that you don't even need to elaborate on it. It's a roguelike that loops. You're familiar with the concept, right? You go through the stages and the game ends when you die. Or you defeat the final boss. Or you take the easy way out. Or, you know, this happens. You crash land on a planet, the locals go all Sentinel Island on you, and you survive by picking up random space garbage that fell to the surface and use it to massacre the local ecosystem. This trash that you pick up includes, but isn't limited to, seeds, feathers, used heroin needles, a severed goat leg, a mushroom, and a brain parasite. A lot of the items have internal synergies with each other and can be used to proc off of each other, which is the main way that you get big damage in this game. And, if you are in a multiplayer match, you can just intentionally grief your entire team.
I'm telling you now, I have plans that I cannot share with you right now because the haters will sabotage me. I have plans that I cannot...
Every item has a unique effect, for the most part, but the game doesn't always really communicate what exactly it is that they do. For example, this worn teddy bear. Does it provide comfort to you at night because you can pretend that it fills up the empty void of loneliness in your sad existence? No, it gives you a chance to ignore damage taken, obviously. What about this ukulele? Does it let you LARP as a Polynesian man? No, it shoots lightning. So it is indeed an instrument of pain. All of these are passive though. But you also have an equipment slot that can hold one orange item that has a cooldown. Like this item that makes a quantum tunnel that you can ride. Or you can have the BFG from Doom. Yeah, in case you don't see the problem, since you can only hold one, most of these items kind of suck ass. You will use the item that does the highest damage, like 90% of the time. Although, the tunnel is pretty fun actually. So, I guess you do you. Artifacts of this kind of power need a worthy vessel to carry them. So who are you? There's a lot of survivors to pick from, with completely different sets of abilities, and they also live in different sections of the junkyard, and so they each like different kinds of items more than others. For example, the captain is a sadistic motherfucker who likes to watch enemies die slowly, and might enjoy items that inflict bleed. On the other hand, the railgunner, for example, is a professional and has standards, and will therefore enjoy bludgeoning her enemies to death with a crowbar. It all makes sense when you think about it. My favorite is this cute dog. The shelter called him a lab mix. He jumps around and spits acid, and for some reason does extra damage to children under 9 years old. I also really like the commando, honestly, the guy you start with, especially because he got his choice of headwear at the local pet store. He's also very simple and easy to play, just hold left click and everything dies. Rex is pretty cool as well. I can't for the life of me tell you what he's supposed to be, but his whole thing is doing damage to himself and then sucking health out of the enemies. A character for those who love living on the edge or are completely mentally unhinged. The other survivors are also pretty cool, I guess. There's no time for standing around though. See that clock? The longer you take, the stronger your enemies become. Every second that you're not powering up, you're losing. Which sounds stressful, but it's fine once you get the hang of it. Just go through the stages quickly. If you waste too much time on one stage, you'll have the lifespan of an... There's a lot of cool secrets that you could find, and I can only think of 2 of them that completely shatter the game's balance. But honestly, there's like not enough of them, I feel. The entire DLC, Survivors of the Void, doesn't have a single secret in it, which is kinda disappointing. Oh yeah, the DLC. There is only one expansion pack, and it's probably the last good piece of content that this game will ever receive. It adds items, stages, enemies, 2 new survivors, and a new final boss. And also it makes these purple fart clouds spawn randomly in stages, which are just amazing. When you first begin the game, you'll probably have no idea what you're doing, spend 15 minutes on the first stage and die to the first boss. But you'll figure out which items you should prioritize, how to navigate the stages and get items efficiently, and how to dodge enemy attacks. And before you know it, you will get a taste of true power. You can either try to reach one of the endings or loop the game forever. Every item in the game stacks indefinitely, so as long as you can get items, your potential is basically infinite. And eventually, you will reach a point where you don't even have to move and every enemy around you dies without you even noticing that they spawned. The problem arises when these fat bastards start spawning in stages. They are called the scavengers, and just like you, they like to collect garbage. And they drop their backpack full of items when they die. This is an extremely efficient way to get items, and you will probably snowball really hard and the game becomes really boring because you get too strong and everything dies without you even lifting a finger. But the DLC seeks to fix that by making new enemies,
Oh yeah, Mr. Crab.
which explode into giant insta-kill black holes when they die. When you're done with the main game, you can try the Eclipse mode, which is like a super hard mode that puts on more modifiers every time you win, some of which can be very unpleasant. Whoopsies. And yeah, that's basically Risk of Rain. There's honestly not that much to complain about other than what are honestly just nitpicks. It's probably the best roguelike game that I know of, and I would recommend playing it before Gearbox inevitably ruins it somehow. I find it a great game to just zone out, sit back, and listen to a podcast or something. Anyway, see you later.